Right, so season comes to an end, but then the race for the most prestigious individual prize in world football hasn't died off. It's now gaining even more ground, and it's becoming heated and more interested because who wins the 2025 Ballon d'Or award? Now, there are so many names popping up. PSG ended the season with 4 trophies. Now, they could become the very first team to win 5 trophies in a season. That's if they are able to bag the FIFA Club World Cup as well. And the main actors for Paris Saint-Germain, you can mention Ousmane Dembélé, who had a fantastic season. There's Vitinha in midfield. There's Nuno Mendes at left back. There's also Achraf Hakimi. Now, these are not the only players gunning for the award, but then also you talk about Barcelona. They even finished in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. But then Lamine Yamal is making a strong case for himself, not just team, but then also you have Rafa Díaz, who contributed over 50 goals. That's goals, assists, in just a single season for Barcelona. Now we move to England, where, the English fans are also making a case for Mohamed Salah, who shattered records in the Premier League. But then, unfortunately, they exited the UEFA Champions League in the round of 16 stage. So these are some of the players, actually, you can't talk about when you're talking about the Ballon d'Or title. And I have my 2 able panelists here who will be doing justice to this. And definitely, they could narrow it down to about 3 or 4. Then eventually, we can make a decision. We crown the winner here before even French Football Magazine do their crowning in Paris. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I've mentioned about 7 players first. We can mention. Okay, let's try and see if we can come, to an agreement,
all right.
A consensus. Let's see. Let's look at PSG. How many players can we talk about?
Three players
as front runners for the Ballon d'Or.
3 players from PSG.
Okay, so let's mention these players.
Ousmane Dembélé,
Vitinha, Nuno Mendes. So there's no Achraf Hakimi. You think there's no João Neves?
For me, no. You see, they are going to be part of the collective lot. You understand? Maybe they are going to be part of the 30.
Let's look at the award itself. The players we believe
that's
have got what it takes to win it.
That's what I'm saying. That the players you're mentioning are going to be part of the collective lot, right? But if you have the players who have a shot at winning it. You talk about Dembélé, who is the front runner. You talk about Vitinha. You talk about Nuno Mendes. So these are
just these 3. You think
Lamine Yamal?
No, you're talking about these 3 from PSG.
Yes, no. I'm saying yes. Achraf Hakimi has been great as well. But you think
you're not getting you asked the question. Who are the front runners from PSG?
Yes.
Hakimi can be in contention when you're talking about the 20 or the 10.
No, I'm talking about the award itself.
He's not part of
it. Yes, that's it. So you think he's not part of it? So in PSG, we can have these 3 players gunning for the award.
Yes. They are strong contenders. Very strong contenders.
Can Real Madrid present Kylian Mbappé?
Yes.
Real Madrid,
I believe so.
Kylian Mbappé can be presented, and he also has an equal chance of winning because remember, remember he's the Pichichi winner. And is the European Golden Boot winner as well.
Yes.
So if you are talking about individual season, he's had a fantastic season. But your individual season shouldn't be disengaged from the collective. So if it is disengaged from the collective, then he has had a fantastic season. But if individually. But if it is engaged with the collective, then he's had a poor season. Because look at what Madrid has been able to achieve throughout the season. And they've won absolutely nothing. They've not been great throughout the season. And it's part of the collective. So yes, on an individual basis, he's good. But part of the collective, he's not.
Let's still stay in Spain, Courage. Let's look at the Barcelona team. I don't know why there's been so much noise around Barcelona and their players winning the Ballon d'Or. Because I think they've not done, personally, I don't think they've done enough. Yeah, winning the Ballon, the La Liga is good, but it's equivalent to the other leagues in that same category. Talking about the European top 5 league. So it's like Napoli also saying, we have a player who did so well. So Scott McTominay also stands a chance of winning. But realistically, yes, you can talk about Raphinha, who scored, and assisted tons of goals in the La Liga. But Lamine Yamal, has he been that influential? Has he even been the best player at Barcelona to start with?
Let me pick it up from the journalistic perspective. You see, there's a criteria for this. First of all, is your individual performance. Secondly, your team effort, that's helping your team to achieve laurels. And then also, I think there is fair play inclusive, like how respectful you are, how fair you play on the pitch. So I don't think Lamine Yamal falls in that category, that fair play category. He's too arrogant for me. That's how I
on the
see
pitch.
Yes. On and off the pitch, he's very arrogant.
Maybe off the pitch, that might not even come into the conversation.
Yes. So I think that's one of the factors that got what's his name? This Robert winger Vinicius Junior out of the Ballon d'Or title.
That's last year.
Yes, just last year.
Last 2 seasons.
It was just last season. It was last
year. It was last year.
Wasn't last year?
Last 2 seasons.
But last year.
So the season hasn't ended yet. So that was
last year.
The season has ended.
That's why I'm not using season.
It hasn't ended yet.
It has ended.
Rodrigo won the award last year, right?
Rodrigo won. Rodri won ahead of Vini and Jude Bellingham.
Yes, so last year. You see, so I in as much as Lamine Yamal has been very good, an excellent player, he did very well individually, he has very good statistics. He's a game changer, a talisman for both club and country. He has achieved. He won the Euros with the Spain national team, and then also won the Premier League, the league, the La Liga with Barcelona. So I think these two push him ahead, and then his behavior off the pitch, and I mean at times on the pitch, it's quite a distance. And then Ousmane Dembélé, he ticks all these boxes. He was top scorer,
4 trophies, top scorer,
everything. He was the top
French league.
21 goals.
Yeah, 21 goals
In the French Cup.
Liga, yeah.
He scored 3 out of 4 matches. The Super Cup, the Champion of Champions. Only 1 game he scored, and then 8 in the Champions League as well. He won it, best player in the Champions League. He did quite well with France as well. They went as far as the semi-finals in the how do you call it? The
Nations League.
Nations League, UEFA Nations League. It was eliminated by Spain. It was just 1 step away from winning the trophy. So I think he's the front, like the best candidate for me. If they say, okay, Ballon d'Or is here, carry choose out with ease.
You vote if you had to cast a vote. You go for Ousmane Dembélé. Now we'll also look at other leagues though, but let's still stay in Spain. Let's look at the potential candidates. The potential candidates that
before we come to the potential candidate, right? Let me refer Courage to 2008 when Cristiano Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or. When we say petulance, the epitome of petulance is Cristiano Ronaldo, right? When we say arrogance, the epitome and the exuberance of arrogance.
He wasn't granting.
I'm coming. You see, as a player, we have the way you package yourself. That is why the former FIFA president Sepp Blatter went further to say that Ronaldo is a general. You understand? Because of how he's been able to brand himself. And then Lionel Messi I've forgotten the way he branded Lionel Messi. So how has Lamine Yamal branded himself? Maybe that is how his entourage wants to brand him.
Okay.
You take nothing away from him. Remember that from the start of the season, Barcelona were on top of the league until he got injured. When he got injured, that was what gave the impetus for Madrid to come into the game. Came on top of the league. When Lamine Yamal came back from injury, he took over from where he left off. You understand? So the impact of Lamine Yamal on the season that Barcelona had is not negligible. The impact of Lamine Yamal is core and fundamental to the success of both the national team and Barcelona. So you cannot decouple what he's been able to achieve from his image. That is how he wants to brand himself. But not even suffice to say that is arrogant. You don't use that in judging who the Ballon d'Or should be given.
But he believes that also goes a long way to play a role.
Who is the best player?
No,
it is not who is the most.
But you know, we saw. Wait, listen. We saw in 2006. We all witnessed how Zidane was denied it due to being. Yeah, maybe it doesn't fall within that category though. But sometimes being disciplined also counts.
What happened with Zidane in 2006 is not about arrogance.
No, it was fair play.
He got battered.
Yes,
he got battered.
No, listen, that's what I'm saying.
That might alienate voters from him.
The context is quite different, but for the purposes of this argument, that's what we are saying. So perhaps maybe arrogance is not, or being disrespectful.
Yes,
it's just arrogance. Maybe in a different context, because in recent times we've not seen players act that way. But the question is, you think with his success individually and collectively with Barcelona, could that place him on the podium? Looking at the names we've mentioned already and what he's achieved.
I can tell you the names that are going to be on the podium.
And Yamal is what? Yamal is what?
Vitinha, Dembélé.
Has Yamal had a better season than Raphinha? Wait. Let's settle that.
The impact. See, it's all about impact.
Yes. No. Has he had Barcelona? Wait.
Josiah, you are asking me.
Yes. Wait.
Who has had a better?
Has he had a better season? That's the question. Has Lamine Yamal had a better season than Raphinha?
He has had a far better season.
A far better season.
He's not had a better season. He's had a far better season.
I agree. You see, to the extent that even the national team, it reflects. Raphinha is not able to do
across board.
No, but it's different. We're talking about
it is not different. You're talking about the season. If you're talking about his impact,
but what has been his impact for Spain?
He led them. He led. Yes.
Lamine Yamal led Spain.
Yes.
It was him.
He was the man of the team. He was the main man of the team.
Lamine Yamal led Spain.
It was his team. He led.
You have been sleeping.
No.
Lamine Yamal led Spain.
You can't tell me it was Rodrigo. You can't tell me it was Rodri. It was not Rodri. It was Lamine. It was his team. To the European Championship.
No, but that's not even in the conversation. It's not here because it's past. That was last year in July. It's even past. Last season Barcelona.
Last season Barcelona. I have already indicated that from the first matches to probably the 14th match, right? Lamine Yamal was practically the best player in La Liga last season.
Even with Kylian Mbappé playing the same league.
Please. If you tell me that Kylian Mbappé has had a successful season based on the goals he scored, fine.
But where do the impact? No, let's not kid ourselves. Where is the impact coming from? How do you measure a player's impact?
If you create chances, if you create attacking chances for your team, that is an impact.
Okay, which leads to a goal, perhaps.
Of course.
Yeah.
If your players pan the chances you've created, you won't get the assist.
No, but then it's still there.
Get the chances
the numbers are still there.
Of course.
Yeah.
You understand? And we are saying here that the best player for Barcelona, in terms of goal scoring, in terms of their attacking play, was dependent on Lamine Yamal's form. That was why when he was injured for like a month or two,
did Raphinha score most goals?
They collapsed.
He didn't.
Barcelona collapsed. When Lamine Yamal got injured. This is an established fact. You have to accept that fact.
No, I'm yet to.
That was when Real Madrid went on top of the league, leading Barcelona with almost 8 points. Lamine Yamal came back, brought his impetus again, brought Barcelona back into the game, overhauled the 8 points margin, and then led again. So if it weren't for Lamine Yamal, there's no way that Barcelona would have had a sniff at the championship. So you can't tell me that on economies of scale, Raphinha has had a good season, a better season, compared to the seasons that he had prior. And you see, the reason why a lot of people are talking about Raphinha is the fact that the first 2 seasons at Barcelona were poor.
Lamine Yamal played 35 games in the La Liga out of 38. He wasn't missing for that long. Based on the numbers. He played 35 out of 38 games in the La Liga.
I think he missed more than.
No, he played 35 out of 38 games.
Internet don't lie.
So that means he's not. So no, let's make it quick, snappy. Would you vote for Lamine Yamal as Barcelona's player of the season ahead of Raphinha? That's the question, because
I have already said that.
No, wait. It's a simple lesson. It's a simple question so we can advance. Will you vote for him?
I have said that he's had a better season than.
So he's seen the best. No, we are comparing.
I have established that.
No, we compared him to Raphinha. Now we are comparing him to the field. Everyone in the team. Has he had a better season than everyone in the team?
Of course.
You think so?
No.
So who do you think has been better than him? Raphinha.
Yes.
All right. So let's.
Ballon d'Or is not based on club performance only.
But what has he done? So he's not done.
Board.
So no, for Spain.
What has been Raphinha's impact in the?
No, for Spain. What has he done for Spain? That's the question.
Currently, is their best player.
Okay, then this same indicators should count when we bring in the PSG players, because most of them were with Portugal and they won the Nations League. Now let's move to England. Let's take a look at the players that can, or even the other leagues. Who?
Mo Salah.
In Italy.
From mounting the podium.
In Italy.
McTominay.
Should have been Kvaratskhelia, but then he's
he left very early.
No. McTominay.
Scott McTominay.
See,
player of the season.
The impact. No. Wait. See, if not for Maradona,
you only hear his name.
Take your time. If not for Maradona, the most impactful player in the history of Napoli for the past 30 years would have been Scott McTominay.
That's not true. Come on.
Who is it?
Come on.
Last two seasons when they won the league. I'm coming. Last 2 seasons, they did not win the league.
Have you watched Lukaku?
Last 2 seasons when they won the league, they shared the burden.
Come on. Kvaratskhelia
and Ousmane. Last season.
Ousmane has slept.
Last season. Scott McTominay alone won over 25 points for Napoli. When they were fumbling, when they nearly lost the league, it was Scott McTominay. I am telling you on record that the most impactful season an individual has had on Napoli, apart from Maradona, is Scott McTominay.
He enters the top 10 in the Ballon d'Or rankings.
Of course.
He makes it. Nowhere near the top 10. Now, gentlemen, not even top 15. No. Interesting. So
he's the best player in the Serie A.
Yeah, he's the best. Salah,
that doesn't matter.
Obviously, will be the best player in the Premier League. Who should or could win the best player in Spain? Because definitely that player would be a strong contender for the Ballon d'Or.
You see, that one is going to be a bit dicey, considering the fact that Kylian Mbappé has won the Pichichi and has won the European Golden Ball, won the European Golden Boot. You understand? Yeah. So it might depend on whom you want to vote for.
No, so
if it were me,
so it will definitely go a long way.
Definitely go a long way. Yeah. Though because last year Bellingham won the best player.
No, he won the young best player. Vini won the best player.
Vini won the best player.
No, Bellingham won the best player in La Liga. Yes, he won the best player and the young best in the UEFA Champions League.
Yes. And Vini won the best player in the UEFA Champions
League. Yes.
So
now let's narrow it down. I want us to narrow it down based on all the players we've mentioned, the players that have got what it takes, based on the season and the review that could mount the Ballon d'Or podium. First, let me take your preview.
My three.
Mention your three again.
Vitinha. What's the name?
Dembélé.
Lamine Yamal.
And who wins it ultimately?
Dembélé
wins it.
Hands down.
Okay.
I'm arranging from first to third.
Dembélé
wins it.
Lamine Yamal second.
Vitinha.
Has Yamal had a better season than Vitinha?
Yes.
See, the confusion on your face is
yes.
Sometimes you might have played well, but you don't have the media entourage behind you.
So it's solely PR.
It's not PR. You might have played well. You might have played well. And you see, because it's also in the French League 1. You understand?
But it's a European top 5 league.
You are not getting the point. He doesn't have the media career. He doesn't have the media hype. See, if Liverpool had won the Champions League, there's no doubt Mo Salah wins there.
Of course, because we know his impact.
You understand?
In the league alone.
And the English would have been vying for another Ballon d'Or, because the last time they won it,
because they didn't push Rodri to win it.
You understand?
Let's not sit here and act as if the English media pushed Rodri to Ballon d'Or. They did. No, they didn't. They did virtually nothing for him.
They didn't.
Yes.
Because they had wanted Bellingham to win. Because he's English.
Bellingham should have won it last season if we have been fair.
No, that is what I'm saying. You see, when it comes to voting, it depends on whom your affinity lies with.
Yes.
You understand? It depends on whom your affinity lies with. So it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah. So it's Ballon d'Or business even before, the D-Day. But then
where will it be held this year?
Obviously in Paris.
Well, I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah. I'll let you be in Zurich by then.
Okay. Definitely, I'll be out joining you. Right. So yeah.
No. So you ask me, I would.
No, I know you'll be in Ghana.
I'll be with the gods.
You'll be a nostalgic person. You'll still be in Ghana.
I'll be in the village with the gods.
You flight. So
I have to go and pour libation.
For who?
For myself.
I thought you were pouring for one of the players to me.
Oh, which player?
All right. So I don't know who you're voting for. I don't know who you want to see win it. My panelists have concluded, and the top three, I think it was unanimous there. Ousmane Dembélé, the winner of the Ballon d'Or. Yamal second, and then Vitinha. Trust me, I'll go for my top three in no order. Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, and then Ousmane Dembélé. Nuno Mendes should be the surprise package, at the Ballon d'Or Awards. I'm telling you, mark this thing anywhere. But then let's also hear from you in the comment section. Who do you think should win the 2025 Ballon d'Or?